Welcome to Yin Yoga. I'm Christy. Let's take a nice big breath. Alright, so today we're going to work on honoring the spirit within. So, Namaste. I've seen many different translations, meanings for Namaste. Some people say it's I bow to you. So that's a way of honoring somebody. So I think it's really about honoring our spirits. So not, just what your status in life is, that, right, like we're bowing to a king or queen or something like that, but that we are honoring the spirit within everybody and anybody. So I think that's often, we're directing that outward, but one of the things I've read is that Namaste means I honor the light within you that is also within me. So it's this sort of sense of interconnection, but again about honoring the spirit and realizing that we're all equal and we're all the same and that kind of thing. So I think it's important to honor our own spirit. So that's the theme today, honoring your own spirit. So sit comfortably. Notice how you are. So how is your spirit today? Somebody that I ran into yesterday who's just like this really interesting like old soul in a very young body. And he's like, how are you? He's like, give me a number. So he told me he was a 6 yesterday, and so he's been, struggling with a lot of things. So, maybe that's a helpful way to think about it, is like from a 1 to 10, how's your spirit feeling today? And honor that. So whether you know kind of what that number is or how you're feeling or whatever, just honoring that. The knowing or the not knowing or whatever number is, however you're feeling. Just really honor that. You just have to go through the days that are hard because they will pass. But I think when we acknowledge that we're not feeling so great, I think they can pass a little more quickly. All right, let's take a nice deep breath. All right, I want to work a bit on, on legs today. So I want to do a little standing forward fold. So we're going to come just into a standing position. So this could be with your feet close together, or your feet a little bit wide. I haven't stretched yet today, so I'm feeling like feet wide is usually better for me when I haven't stretched yet. But maybe you're stretched out, you're pretty loose today. So I think I'm going to do feet a little bit wide and then just bend one knee at a time, shift a little bit from side to side. Breathe. Noticing how the body feels here. And does that, sort of correlate to how your spirit is today? Sometimes there's a difference in our mood and in our bodies, but a lot of times there's this, real deep connection between what we're feeling physically and emotionally. Okay, let's see if we can take it into a squat. So bringing your heels in and your toes out, and we're going to let the hips drop down. Take a breath. And then we're going to tip it back into a forward fold, and then we're just going to transition into hands and knees. And let's round and flex the spine a bit. So coming into a cat pose, head and tailbone down, spine up towards the ceiling. And then shift it. Let your spine drop down between your shoulder blades. Let the head chest come on up. Back and forth a couple of times. And then let's just drop into child's pose for a couple of breaths. Let your head come down. All right, and I thread the needle, which I often like to take my glasses off for. So from hands and knees, we're gonna round into a cat and slide the right arm underneath the left. And then the left hand can slide along the floor straight past the top of your head. And then we're just going to shift it to the other side. So press into your left hand, slide your right arm out. Let's drop into dog. So hands and knees, roll the spine, drop down towards the floor, let head and chest come on up. And then we're going to round back into a cat. Slide left arm underneath, right palm up, let your head come on down, right hand slides along the floor, past the top of your head. And then we're going to slide that left arm out. Come into a seated position. So we're just doing a little bit of movement and then we're going to settle into some yin poses. But let's bring the soles of the feet together and pull them in a little bit and work on leaning forward here. So there's a lot of theories about yin. And I always think that everything is, very personal and unique to every individual. So a lot of the theory is to do yin cold so that you're stretching the connective tissue and not the muscle. But I think if things are tight, just coming right into a static pose can be really problematic. It can be really painful and uncomfortable, and that's not what we want. So I like to do a little loosening up often. And so you can choose, for yourself, if you're doing, your own practice, you can decide, how you're feeling, and do you need to do a little bit of movement first, or are you in a good place to just go right into holding a pose. So let's take it into a twist. We're going to take the legs out straight. We're going to twist it to the right. If you want to bend, I'm really not feeling like bending that knee today. I'm feeling like, I'm feeling like I'm going to go back to cross legs. But let's see how this goes. All right, maybe not as bad as I thought. Okay, so if you're going to do this bent knee, your left foot's going to pull in toward you. Your right foot's resting on the outside of that left leg. You're holding the knee. Right hand's on the floor behind you, so that hand and arm are supporting your back. You're trying to lift the spine up, soften the abdomen, breathe out. I really thought my hips were not going to go for this morning. All right, coming on back to the middle, we're going to take it to the other side. So again, you can do legs straight, twisting to your left, or you're going to bring left foot to the outside of the right leg, hanging onto the knee. Right toes pull in towards you. Lengthen your spine, but soften your abdomen. All right, coming on back to the middle. All right, we're gonna take feet out wide. So now we're gonna go into a yin pose. So wide leg forward fold. So just finding where your feet feel okay. Where do they feel reasonably comfortable? I don't always know that that's the right word to use, but not super duper uncomfortable, right? So maybe I should say reasonably, where your legs feel reasonably uncomfortable. Sometimes it feels good. on a good day. Things might feel really just nice. But really we're looking to avoid pain. So leaning forward. If you find your legs are really tight, having a little bit of elevation, like a little folded towel or blanket to sit on, can make this folding forward a little less excruciating, a little easier to fold forward. And then we're going to work on letting go. So often in these forward folds, I will move my feet and my toes because I tend to kind of hold my feet in place here. And in yin, we're working on this letting go. Feeling the breath flow in and out of the body. So coming into, again, this mindset of honoring yourself. So honoring your body, that's part of why we don't want to be super duper uncomfortable. We want to honor the body, be respectful of our bodies, grateful for our bodies. It makes life, I think, more pleasant when we can come into this mindset of being grateful for our bodies rather than being critical of our bodies. We're sometimes angry with our bodies, right, when we're not well. So just really honoring your spirit, your body, your entire being. Is also honoring where the limit is time-wise, as well as the depth of the pose. So when you know that it's enough, you just want to let yourself shift. If you're still feeling okay, then you just hang out. right, we're gonna come on up. All right, we're gonna shift onto the back. I want to do banana asana. So banana asana, we're gonna lie flat on our back, and then we're gonna try to curve the body to the side. So we're trying to make this like crescent shape. It's also called reclining crescent pose. So we're just gonna come onto our backs. We're gonna take a breath. Use my pillow as usual. So taking a breath on your back. And notice how you are. So we're going to take this into reclining crescent pose. So just again, because of my vertigo issues, I often have my head elevated a little bit, even in this pose. So if you're okay being flat, be completely flat. If you feel you want a little elevation for your head, you can prop anything underneath your head. So what we want to do is take the legs over to the right side. And then we're going to try to bring the upper bodies, I'm going to bring my pillow with me. We're going to try to bring the shoulders also over. So we're trying to create this little curved shape in the body. Some days I can curve more than others. So I can just go until you feel like this point of resistance. And then depending on shoulders, if you can bring so if we're going to the right, then you're going to bring your left arm up and maybe around, and I will often kind of hold that left wrist with my right hand. So I'm getting a deeper stretch through this left side of the body. If you would like to cross ankles, either ankle can go on top. So you may find one or the other works for you. You may find crossing ankles just doesn't feel quite right. So for me, it tends to make the hip stretch more intense to cross the ankles. So some days that's a good thing, some days it's a terrible, painful experience. So you want to avoid, anything that's feeling painful, like it's harmful for you. And then breathe. So again, just this idea of like witnessing what you're experiencing. And are you honoring your body and your spirit by being in this position? Is there anything you need to adjust? I need to change my arms today. Alright, so slowly letting go of this side. Let your legs just kind of straighten out. And then notice how your back is. So for me, this is always a little bit tender in the low back. So I have to go slowly, and then I might bring my feet up onto the floor and let my low back be flat for a couple of breaths. There can be this sense of, I think, enjoyment after the pose where the body is kind of saying, ah. So I like to have that moment, just especially, because these yin poses, even if you're not, your maximum, which you shouldn't be, there's still an intensity, so it can be really nice just to have that little, feel better now that we've stretched that side out that deeply. Okay, coming into the left. So we're going to take legs over to the left side. And we're going to try to bring the shoulders over to the left. And then you're going to see if you can bring this right arm up. Yeah, I can feel this. Like the minute I bring my right arm up today, I can feel it stretching all through that hip. Usually I will feel it more through the ribs, but today I can really feel it stretching through that hip. Okay, and again, maybe you're going to cross ankles, and it can be either one on top. Let's see. Ooh. All right, a little screaming sometimes. It's a little bit much. So I'm feeling a lot in this right hip today. So I'm going to take a couple of breaths. And if it still feels like it's too much, so sometimes it'll be like this little releasing, letting go right in the beginning. And sometimes it's just like, nope, back up. So today I'm feeling like I need that stretch. I'm going to back up a little bit. That's better. And sometimes it doesn't take much, right? Like I just barely shifted my legs, but it made a big difference. Yeah, that's wherever you want your arms, so all right. sense of like that intensity to let go. All right, so we're gonna roll to the side. Come up nice and easy. All right, so we're gonna do a head to knee pose here. We're gonna have legs out straight. We're gonna pull the right foot up. So we're gonna fold over. Yeah, the right. Yeah. Okay, let me think about it because I'm going backwards. All right, so we went to the right. We went to the left. Okay, so we're gonna pull the left foot up. So I'm not completely reversed on this side. All right, we're gonna fold over the right leg. Because we were just stretching this outer hip, I don't wanna bend this knee and get this deeper stretch in this same hip as what we just did. So we're gonna start with the left foot up and we're gonna fold over the right leg. I think I've got that correctly. So if it doesn't feel like it's the right side, change legs. All right, so we're just gonna fold over this leg and see how this goes. So again, let your foot relax, lean in over the leg. Okay, come on up. We're gonna gently straighten out the left leg. Ooh-wee. Maybe lean back a little bit. Could be kind of a windshield wiper motion that feels good here. Could just be legs out straight, bouncing the knees. So notice how you're feeling now. And I always feel this internal shift, which is a beautiful thing. All right, we're gonna take it to left leg straight, right foot's pulling up. We're gonna fold, ooh, tight. All right, we're gonna try to fold in over this leg. So where you end up might be different than the other leg. This side might be looser, it might be tighter. Might have to go into it slowly. working on the legs, and we're gonna flip onto the belly. So just come onto your abdomen. On at the front of your hips. Straighten out. Alright, so we're just going to take a couple of breaths here, flat on the abdomen or in a sphinx, resting on your lower arms if you like. Just kind of let that pose work its way out of the body. Bring it into half frog. So bring your right knee up to about hip height. Left leg stays straight. sides. Straighten out your right leg. Bring your left knee up to about hip height and then settle back in. out the left leg. All right, so we're going to take it to Shavasana. Shavasana traditionally is done on the back, which is what we usually do. If you're feeling like you want to be here on your belly, sometimes that's a nice, really relaxing. I often find that's more relaxing than being on my back. You might stay here. I'm feeling like I want to do child's pose. So, maybe that's not really Shavasana, but that's just kind of what I'm feeling in this moment. So wherever you're feeling like you want to be, work on settling in. And then once more, coming into that space of honoring your spirit, honoring your body. breath. Notice how you are. And if you're going to go up to seated, maybe roll to your side for a moment. And then from a seated position, so however you want to sit, wherever you'd like your hands to be on your legs or at your heart. One more big full breath. Exhale it out. Thank you for being here and sharing in this practice today. Namaste.